Why is belly fat the hardest thing to burn? You know, the bits around here that just will not go away? Well, here's the 3 biggest mistakes I fixed to do this in 4 months. I'm bringing you the absolute fastest way to get rid of the gut, as well as the most sustainable, so you don't pile all that weight back on the moment you get back from your holiday. And all of this without turning into a fitness dork.
I know it sounds weird,
But it hasn't just worked for me, it's worked for all these guys too. But if you want to get my free anti-calorie cheat sheet, instead of listening to me witter away, you can grab it via the link below. Anyways, I'm Ian Dowie, the online PT, not the old palace manager. And before losing 2 stone, here's what was happening. I was doing all of the right things, eating healthy, getting myself to the gym and trying to avoid cravings. But all that was happening is I'd feel motivated, try to sort my life out, lose a couple of kilos, and then like a time traveller, I'd be right back at square one without really understanding what had gone wrong. I reckon I would have been stuck in that frustrating cycle forever if I hadn't have fixed these 3 problems. I'd be good all day, only to discover the evening had set an ambush for me. I'd eat my little breakfast, keeping it light, you know. Then I'd have my healthy lunch, and I did quite enjoy the smugness of feeling like I was better than everyone else in the office.
I mean, it's not crazy to think I can't live to be 245, maybe 300.
Unfortunately, after the public performance was over, I'd end up getting home absolutely ravenous. Before I knew it, I'd fired half a loaf of bread through the toaster, had a lovely glass of red wine, because I am middle class, and then taxed whatever's in the cupboard as well. I'd tell myself that I had no willpower, no self-control, but tomorrow is...
it's a new day, new era.
All I was doing here was stitching myself up for the future. My plan relied on evening me being iron-willed and able to resist every temptation put in front of me, which is essentially the same as borrowing money that you won't be able to pay back. Once I realised that future me is going to face the same problems as me right now, I stopped making such difficult plans. And here's what that actually looked like. I had a bit more to eat at breakfast, and I'd have a bigger lunch than a chicken salad meal deal. Because of this, I wouldn't be hungry for toast the moment I got through the door. Because of this, I could have my dinner a bit later. So I didn't want to snack on junk food after I'd eaten, which all meant that I didn't feel like I was having to try hard all day long. And I didn't feel like I had anything to make up for in the evening. And finally, my belly began to shrink, and it wasn't just a number on a scales going down. I saw my belt notch shift every couple of weeks, and my shirt started to feel better before I lost so much weight that they started to feel worse again, and I had to get new gear because I was too slim for my old stuff. And look, all the information you could ever want about how to burn belly fat is so easily available now thanks to AI. So is it really an information problem you have? Or is your problem how to apply that information to your life? I was trying to eat healthier, not less. I'd swap out white bread for seeded, crisps for mixed nuts, and order myself some protein powder as well. Nailed it. Shred City, here we come. Except I was still eating too much. Nuts are healthy, sure, but when I was eating them like Smarties, I might as well have been eating, well, Smarties. I felt like I knew about healthy eating, but the total amount of food I was eating was still just too much to really put a dent in my stomach. So when I switched over from eating healthy to eating the same shit but a bit less of it, the weight really started to drop off. And dieting like this felt so much easier than eating healthy because I didn't have to learn a whole load of new recipes or start cooking everything from scratch. I just put 25 to 30% less food on my plate.
Simples.
Because it turns out 3,000 calories of healthy food is still just 3,000 calories. And putting all that effort into finessing my diet was really hard, especially when compared to the brute force approach of not eating so much and just feeling a little bit hungry, which leads us perfectly into the next problem I had to fix. I thought feeling hungry meant I had to eat. In fact, it means the diet is working. I used to think my metabolism was going to crash or going to enter starvation mode or something silly like that. But the truth is, feeling a little bit hungry is exactly what burning belly fat is supposed to feel like. It's not like I was dying or in danger, I did feel uncomfortable. And look, obviously I said mistake number one was about eating too little, so I'd get caught out by cravings and snack my way through the evening. And any video on YouTube is always going to suffer from the problem of being a one-way conversation. I'm talking to you, but you can't butt in and say, yeah, but what about... So, at the risk of being a little bit patronising, if you're always so hungry that you end up snacking, you're probably under eating, right? But if you never feel hungry and your belt notch hasn't moved in weeks, you're probably overeating. Still with me? Anyway, grab my anti-calorie cheat sheet below, because in terms of applying this information to your actual life, it's going to be so much more useful than endlessly watching videos on YouTube. And as a bonus mistake, I thought the gym was the secret to burning belly fat, but it forking wasn't. Look, exercise is brilliant. It helps with stress, it makes your body feel nice, and it makes you feel young again. But when I was overeating by like 1,000 calories a day and thinking a 40-minute workout was going to make up for it, I was sadly mistaken. The easiest way to burn belly fat is by not eating bad shit in the first place. And I know some people can outwork a bad diet, but if you spend 40 hours a week sat at your desk in the office doing somewhere in the region of 400 steps per day, you ain't them people. And you're making your life harder than it needs to be by trying to make up for it by a few workouts in the gym. So the cliche about fitness people being all brawn and no brain is irritatingly accurate, with people not understanding the difference between a fact and their opinion, which means a ton of fitness advice is given because it worked on me, so therefore it will work for you. So people will give you very specific advice, thinking that precision and accuracy and effectiveness are the same thing, but they're not. So what I've done here is told you where I was making mistakes and how I fix those mistakes. You will have slightly different solutions because you will be making slightly different mistakes. And by understanding this, you can fix your own mistakes rather than blindly follow advice on the internet, which is exactly what happened to Matt. After years of spending holidays hiding under the sun lounger with his shirt on, pretending he wasn't too hot and he actually preferred the feeling of sweaty cotton on his skin as opposed to the lovely summer sunshine. He felt like he'd tried it all before. The crash diets, the fasting, the one meal a day, and because he was heavy, he thought he needed the more extreme fixes to burn belly fat fast, you know? One day he decided to try my system instead. And we found out that his biggest problem was that when work got on top, he'd end up missing lunch. So he'd treat himself to something delicious in the afternoon to make up for this and to make him feel better and less stressed. Because of this discovery, we got him to eat more earlier in the day. Because of that, he stopped having to fight cravings with willpower that wasn't there because he'd already spent it on his job. Until finally, his jeans fit better again and he didn't dread the topless holiday photo. Look, if there really was one specific best way ever to burn belly fat, why would I not give it to you? And if I was holding it back from you, you could just get that information from ChatGPT. I'm not trying to give you the perfect plan. I'm trying to tell you the mistakes I made, so hopefully you can learn from them and not waste as much time as I did. You will need your own version, but these principles will hold up. If your plan is built with the best possible version of you in mind, what's going to happen on a day you've slept badly, had a row with your partner, and about to eat shit from your boss all day at work? Reckon you're still going to want to do 10,000 steps in the rain after a day like that? Burning belly fat is not about perfection. It's about having a plan that works on the crap days as well. So download the sheet below. Let me know any questions in the comment section. And if this helps please like and subscribe. Check out my other videos, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.